Get you a ratchet with a lifetime warranty, and don't tell them you was using a breaker bar on it if it breaks. So you know what the most important part of this process is? These nuts. Got him. YouTube, tell Nick thanks for letting us eat the dashboard. You know, it's all good. It's all good. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to YB Works. Today's video, we're gonna show you how to change the brakes on a 2016 Chevy Cruze. So Nick here is going to take over here in just a second and show you guys everything you need to know to change the brakes on your 2016 Chevy Cruze.
All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start to break the lug nuts loose before we get the tire off the ground. That way, once we get it up, the rotation of the wheel doesn't disable your force. All right, so we're gonna get the jack set under here just for a little tension before we start breaking those loose. The best point I found in the frame is this little notch. Sit at the center here, and that's the best jack point I found on this vehicle.
So in these Chevy Cruzes, it don't come with a spare tire or a jack or anything like that, or a tire tool. From what we could tell, this one came from CarMax, so maybe they came from the factory with that stuff and it just has been removed. But
yeah, there was an air pump and a can of like Fix-A-Flat in here, and that's it. Yeah,
so, and that's the way it was. Looks like it's designed from the factory, so we don't believe it has one from the factory. We'll tell you why we're showing you that right here.
So if your car doesn't come with actual tools to get this off, normally the best thing to do is use one of these to get your lug nuts off. If this doesn't fit properly, and you just make sure you buy one that works, but if it doesn't fit properly, you slip it on, it's closed, but it doesn't actually grab anywhere and has all that slop in it, you're probably just gonna tear your lug nuts up. And in that case, you can use a socket. This is a 19mm on here, so a ratchet probably isn't the best idea. You'd probably rather have a breaker bar if you have one. Me, I don't have one right now, and if you don't have one, you can use a ratchet. Just you're gonna probably need an actual extension pipe or something like that to actually get enough leverage.
In this case, we're gonna use the pipe off of the jack. Get you a ratchet with a lifetime warranty, and don't tell them you was using a breaker bar on it if it breaks.
Just wanted to add one thing, guys. Before you lift the tire off the ground, especially being a front wheel drive car, make sure the emergency brake is on so the car doesn't have the chance to shift, because even if you feel like you're on level ground, other things can make the car move. Alright, so next thing, get your 9/16 socket. You have to loosen this bolt and this bolt. I'm going to take just this one out and try and flip it back so I don't have to hang it up anywhere for the brake line. And most of the time, once you get them broke loose, you can really turn it back by hand. I don't know if this one's gonna let me do what I want to do. So since this rotor has a little bit of a lip, like the brake pads don't want to pull with it, I'm gonna try and get in here, get between the brake pad and the rotors just to release a little bit of this piston pressure so I can flip it back. There we go. Now remember, when doing that, it's not a fast process. You have to pry really slow and gentle. Now we can let that rest here, make sure that's not going to fall out and we're not pulling on the brake line. So on these brakes, you have a little clip here. Just flip it up, pull it out, top and bottom. Just squeeze it, unhook it. That's it. So if your brake pad is stuck too, you won't get in there, and more than likely it's not going to be the easiest thing to get out. It's not supposed to be. That's all it takes. That's it on getting them off. Now before we put anything else on here, we're going to take a minute and clean some of this stuff up. And the reason you want to do that too, it reduces noises and it helps with the life of your parts if you help keep them clean when you maintenance them. To clean this, we're going to use brake parts cleaner. This one comes from Dollar General. It doesn't really matter which one you get as long as you got one of them, and it's made for this. So when you order your brakes, most of the time they're going to come with these pieces too, so just go ahead and rip these out before you do your cleaning. And if you get the brake stop squeal gel with your brakes, that's supposed to go in here, not like on your brake pads. Before you compress that brake piston, then to be able to put the pad back in, you need to take the lid off of the brake fluid reservoir so you don't build up pressure inside this tank, because it could blow this lid off, blow brake fluid everywhere, and create other issues in your brake lines. So now we're going to compress this brake piston, and for that you can use one of these, but for today we're going to use this cheap Amazon tool. Brake pads we'll be using today and that I normally use are the Power Stop Evolution Plus brakes. For the last 5-6 years I've been using these, haven't had not one issue out of them. They come with all the hardware you need. They tell you how to do your brake pad bedding process. It tells you exactly on the inside lid of the box what you need to do. And so you get your new metal clips for both sides. You get nice packaging for your brakes, and they're ceramics. And I get these on Amazon because they're good brakes and they don't cost a fortune. I got these for less than 30 bucks on Amazon. Not a bad price for ceramic brake pads. So next thing you want to do is you want to get these clips, get your new ones put in, and push down, snap in. Make sure you get them seated properly. Once you get that done, all you want to do is slip your brake pads in next. I'm not 100% sure if it matters. Me, I always put my squeal pad in the back. This isn't always the easiest on the backside, depending how much you can see. And these clips are so tight, they kind of want to jump back off, but that's fine. Once they get bedded in good, they will seat right. There we go, pads are in. Next thing past that, you just want to flip this back up. Be careful, don't damage this piece. You don't want to tear that little boot. So you're going to work that back. You'll find your space for your bolt. Get it back started. Now we just tighten everything back down and move to the other side and rinse and repeat. Alright, after you go drop your car down, there is torque specs for your lug nuts. I'm not doing that right now, but to do it properly, you are supposed to torque your lug nuts.
Make sure that you do retighten them after you sit it down, because you can't get them tight enough with it off the ground.
Yes, and don't trust an impact unless you have an air impact.
So you know what the most important part of this process is? These nuts. Got him.
We got the new brake pads on. At this point, you want to actually stop and bleed your brakes. I'm not going to go into how to bleed your brakes today because that's a whole different process. It takes time, and you need to look up proper information on how to do that properly for your vehicle. I'm pretty sure it's universal, but the point today was just show you how to get your old pads off and new pads on.
All right, so everything buttoned up, wheels back on, brakes on. We gotta see, make sure everything works right. I would always recommend to test drive your new brake job done before you let your loved one in it to take off. You know, and if you're a guy like me anyway, I'm not gonna let my old lady into a car that I don't feel is safe yet. So what we're doing, me and Nick here, if you can see us here, we are just going to make sure this daggone thing is safe. So we are hitting the brakes going down the road. Always, you never really want to get way up in the speed and then slam it all the way to a stop. You kind of want to get about 35, punch them pretty hard, but and ease into it pretty good and see if you come into a stop. And they should get a little better as you do it, as it wears in and everything. You good. So you see, we're gonna push up about 40. He's gonna start hitting the brakes. As you can see, we're not like slamming them. We're not trying to stop immediately. Like, at least not yet. That's not our test yet. What you'll notice is Nick is gradually picking up the speed before he starts to hit the actual brakes. So like he pulled it up to close to 60 that time, after going up to closer to 50, and then after, you know,
Main thing I'm checking for is to see if there's any vibrations or if the brakes feel like they're not there at any point of that.
Or if they're not letting go after you let go of the brake.
Yes. Listening for strange noises and anything that just seems different. And I'm going to, here in a second, we're going to do a hard brake test. Wait till we're coming down this hill.
So they can't see the hill.
No, I'll give you a count when I'm about to start it. I just don't want to do it in a curve. I'd rather it be a straightaway.
Yeah. So we're going to go to the bottom of this hill right here and then hit them. Okay. It's about 60 mile an hour.
So 3, 2, 1, hard brake.
Yeah.
That was from 60 all the way down to 10. No vibrations. No strange noises.
Seemed to stop pretty harsh. You can get stopped pretty quick. So we stopped before we made it all the way across the bridge.
And if one of them locks up while doing that, that means you got air in your brake lines and you need to re-bleed them.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're going.
YouTube, tell Nick thanks for letting us eat the dashboard. You know, it's all good. It's all good. That's it for today's video on the 2016 Chevy Cruze brake change. You guys saw us use this tool in the video. This is the cheap Amazon tool. If you'd like to know a little bit more about this and hear our thoughts on this, make sure you check out the review video for that. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button and let us know in the comments other videos you may would like to see. Hitting the like button lets us know as well what you guys like to see. We'll make more of those. Also, make sure you be a friend, share to a friend, and subscribe to the channel.